Hello, welcome to Business News on the News at 10. I am Adeshewa Josh. The representation of the financial markets in the ongoing national conference is expected to produce notable results for the industry. This is according to the president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria and the financial markets delegates at the national conference, Segun Aina. He explains some of the issues that have been laid bare at the conference to Channels Television and also expressed his optimism on their approval.
Not supposed to be doing things, but government is supposed to be providing the enabling environment. Government is supposed to be providing the platform that will ensure that the private sector are able to do some of the things that they need to do. For instance, you can imagine how nice it would have been if there's no power problem in this country. If electricity runs 24/7, you can imagine the cost of operation, how low it will be, which also affect interest rate, because some of the fundamental things that affect the interest rate in Nigeria is the high cost of operations. We have looked at the options available to us in terms of sources of long-term funds, including well-regulated and transparent intervention funding. We will look at how we can encourage new sources of funds, especially from the emerging part of the world in the Middle East and so many other areas. And the role of government also is supporting this. And for the need to also strengthen the bank, the capital base of the banks have to be continuously upgraded to be able to be sure that the banks will be able to play their role. We believe some of these initiatives are approved at the national conference. We should be able to have a well-focused and a managed financial system, or let's say the banking industry, that will be able to meet the yearnings of the general public.
Now let's join Bisi Koka for closing figures from the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. Key indicators at the Nigerian equities market ended the week on the positive note as the all-share index reversed yesterday's losses. The key broad index rose by 0.17% to end Friday's session at 39,022.10 with a market capitalization of 12.85 trillion naira. Investors favor the stocks of Seplat Petroleum Development Company, Nestle, and Guinness. On the flip side, investors turned their backs against Mobil, Zenith Bank, and 26 other stocks. FCMB was the highest contributor to market turnover, followed by MTI and FBN Holdings. In all, investors staked 443.22 million units of shares in 4,571 deals for a 3.76 billion naira value. And that's a wrap on the stock market reports. I am Bisi Koka.
Thanks a lot, Bisi. Nigeria's external trade value declined by 8.8% to 5.16 billion naira in the fourth quarter of 2013. According to the latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics, this represents a drop of 495.3 billion naira from the amount recorded in the previous quarter. The report by the NBS states that the change was as a result of decline in the value of imports and exports by 19.1% and 2.7% respectively from the previous quarter. The value of imports declined from 2.08 billion naira in the third quarter of 2013 to 1.68 billion naira in the fourth quarter of the same year, while the value of exports declined from 3.57 billion naira to 3.47 billion naira over the same period. Well, the federal government will not hesitate to come down hard on tax evaders in the country. That's according to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who was also speaking at a stakeholders engagement forum organized by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, in Lagos.
Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, declared the forum open with a commendation for the efforts of the Federal Inland Revenue Service to live up to its mandate of improving the nation's tax system. She then expressed concern over the high level of tax evasion in the country.
One of the findings was that 65% of registered taxpayers had not filed their returns for the past 2 years. 75% of small and medium-sized businesses are currently not in the tax system. we are urging you in a very nice manner to reconsider. You know, we'll be very nice now in just urging you and encouraging you and looking at the incentive side of pay. But of course, if being nice doesn't help, then we will not be so nice.
While it's the responsibility of tax authorities to enforce taxation, tax professionals also have a role to play in promoting tax compliance.
It's very important for every tax professional to have a basis of evaluating clients. What kind of clients should I take on? What kind of clients should I not take on? Does that particular client, they will share my core values? Is that client going to pay the right amount of taxes? If every tax professional does this, such a company will not be able to find a tax professional that will represent him or her as a tax or investigation. So we need proper procedures in place.
The acting executive chairman of FIRS, Mr. Kabir Mashi, explains the reason for organizing the forum.
We want to sensitize the taxpayers. We want to interact with them. We want to collaborate with them in order to increase the non-oil revenue collection. This is the first one in Lagos. We'll go around the country and do it so that by the time we finish, the taxpayers will understand that it takes the two to tango. So without the taxpayer, there will not be the tax administrator. Without the tax administrator, there will not be taxpayer. So we are just collaborating for the benefit of tax-paying system in Nigeria.
Participants at the forum urged the federal government to find a way of harmonizing tax collections in different states. They believe this will help to boost the level of tax compliance amongst Nigerians.
And that's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
Still ahead on the news at 10, 4 primary schools emerged to represent Lagos State at the Channel's National Kids Cup. That's on Sports News. Do stay with us.